But when you're looking at buying properties, that should be part of your investigation, folks. The roof. So asking the seller the right questions pertaining to that, because that's a $30,000, $40,000 bill all day long to get a roof repaired, not to mention if it's leaking and nobody knows about it. And it won't be that the seller's hiding it from you. Usually there just hasn't been enough rain to really show the problem. And if there was a problem in the past, the volume wasn't enough, or maybe the tear in the paper wasn't enough, or the roof issue wasn't enough to create something that the seller actually noticed and found out. And even during your inspection, a good inspector probably is going to be able to identify some kind of a leak that might not have been attended to by the seller. You bring that to their attention, they're like, oh my God, we need to get this taken care of, if in fact they're going to be nimble enough to oblige you in fixing that kind of a repair if you happen to be in escrow with them. But buyers don't know these things. Also, the inspector you hire, this is something else that came up yesterday. The inspector you hire, there's all sorts of different certifications with home inspectors. I understand your agent's going to have a list, or probably one they love more than the others. Why don't you ask them, hey, why do you like Connor? Why do you like that particular home inspector? What's it about him? And with me, the home inspectors that I recommend, they're anal retentive. They look at things that really Captain Obvious would be able to find with any property, not just the really obvious stuff, but everything else as well. But it's important to find somebody that's superficial in a way, but also digs deep. So I just don't want to see the deep stuff. I want to kind of see everything. I want them to earn their paycheck. When they're going through and they're looking at all the residents, of course, cosmetic stuff isn't going to be attended to typically by a seller. If a property has flooring that was able to be seen when they originally walked through the property that was in bad shape, or carpet that was torn and has holes in it, or something wrong with the paint, of course, that stuff's not health and safety stuff. But when a home inspector goes, and I do want them to crawl into those attic spaces to get those places that I'm not going to go, my clients aren't going to go. And I also want them to be friendly enough, obliging enough to be able to explain to the client at the very end exactly what they found. And then lickety split, within a day or two, at least get that back to us, that complete report that's going to have photographs, notations. It's going to talk about what code is, what code isn't, and it's going to explain everything that was discovered during that particular home inspection. When the home inspectors have the credentials, have the proper education and certification, it makes a difference. Now, of course, you say, well, I think also experience has a lot to do with it. I suppose that is a valid point. However, the certifications, there's a lot of time that's also spent developing that skill set.